So, what 3 things do guys over 40 need to realise if they still want to reach their health and fitness goals? So this question comes up, or this comment comes up quite a lot when I speak to guys, whether it be in a professional context or my friends or people at the school gates. They will say something like, I'm 40 now, and it's too late, and I'm too old to make the change, or I'm too old to reach this goal, and I'm just going to stay where I am. They maybe don't say that second bit, but that's the idea. I'm just going to stay here because it's too hard to change. So I'm here to tell you that that is not true. But also, I want to give you 3 important things that guys over 40, I'm 41 now, need to understand if you want to reach your health and fitness goals. So, number 1, you are older. That's a fact, and things might take a bit longer, but that's okay. Be realistic about your other commitments in your life. Also, you live 40 years this way, and if you make too big a change, you're going to be miserable. So why are things different as you get a bit older? Well, I mean, the obvious one is you are older. Your years have expanded. You're no longer 20 anymore, so your body is not the same as it was. And life has done, for want of a better word, some damage to us, both physically and maybe mentally. Physically, through if you have an office job from sitting down too much, maybe that's caused problem with joints. You also might have put on some weight because your diet has not been what maybe you want it to be. Mentally, if we've tried to fix our health in the past, maybe we feel like it's too difficult, and maybe we feel like we've tried everything before and it's not worked. So there's some mental aspects there that we have to work on. But we have to think about, how do we want to live the rest of our lives, and how do we want to end up? Now that's a long way away. As human beings are goal-driven creatures. Having a goal that's a long way away is difficult to focus on. It's why people start smoking. I think why people still smoke. The negative effects are well documented, but it's a long way away. So that one cigarette doesn't really make a difference. So, yeah, we have to think: how do I want to end up? How do we want to end up? So in terms of number 1, so the number 1, kind of the first reason, the 3 things that you have to understand: that you are older and it might take longer, and that's okay. Realize that now. You are no longer 20, so putting on muscle, losing weight, it might take a little bit longer than it might have done in the past. But reconcile that in your head that that's okay. It might take 6 months, it might take a year, but that journey is worth it. Be realistic about time commitments. You've got work and family life and all these things to fit into your life now that you didn't have before. So don't think you can suddenly spend 10 hours in the gym every week doing bench press or whatever you're going to do. You might not have that time, so be realistic about that time. You also want to spend time with your family. Like me, I want to see my kids and I want to spend some quality time with my children. So I have to be realistic in terms of what I can actually do, and also what I want to do. Also, my experience, us chaps, we tend to be over-optimistic in what we can do. Women tend to be less optimistic, and we have a kind of like, I work with with guys for 12 weeks, and sometimes they give me like a massive kind of goal, and we have to temper those a little bit. We can still have a reaching goal that we have to really reach towards, but we have to be realistic in terms of what we can achieve. And again, that's okay. You've also lived this way for 40 years. So changing everything about your life is going to make you miserable. If we think about diet, that's why most restrictive diets don't work, because we're taking something that somebody else has thought of and we're implanting it into our life, and we're doing that thing, or we're eating that thing, and we eat a certain way because we like it. So by doing this totally different thing, that can make us miserable. Similarly, in other ways, maybe exercise. Suddenly thinking, I'm going to go to the gym because that's what people do to get fit, but I hate the gym. Again, you've lived a certain way for the last 40 years. You haven't been a member of a gym because you maybe don't like it. So going to a gym is not the right idea. But maybe you love tennis or squash. Do those things. So how do we do this? Well, one of the most important things to do is find your why. Why do you want to improve your health? Oh, because I want to lose a bit of weight. Why do you want to lose a bit of weight? Oh, well, I've got a bit of a beer belly. Okay, why do you want to get rid of your beer belly? Oh, well, it doesn't look good and it makes me feel, I don't know, I don't want to take my shirt off. Okay, well, why do you want to take your shirt off? Oh, I want to go on holiday and enjoy being with my family around the pool. So there, we've taken a few questions to move from just being healthier, which is a bit woolly, to actually the reason I want to improve my health and lose this weight is because I want to have a better time with my family. Be intelligent about your exercise. So that's the next one. So think about how you want to work out. What do you actually enjoy? Like I mentioned, the gym. Most people don't like gyms. So don't focus that around your exercise. If you like walking, start walking. You can do that with your family. So think about what kind of exercise do you actually want to do. Starting small. So again, going back to the idea of totally changing and overloading things, we are told that we need to make a big change in our lives by people selling diet plans and workout plans. But the biggest transformations that I have with my clients are based around small incremental changes. So starting small and building on that foundation. Like the quote, was it, big oak trees from small acorns grow. Don't underestimate the power and the changes that can happen from small changes and small improvements. Those small improvements lead to incremental change. Imagine over 12 weeks, if you made 3 improvements to your health, diet-wise, exercise, whatever it was, every week for 12 weeks, you would have 20 to 30 improvements in your diet and your health. Now, how fantastic would that be? And that's just through small incremental change. So what if? Okay, one of the objections, I'm just too old for this. Okay, no, you're not. I'm telling you, you're not. 40 is not too old to do anything. Use the evidence of other people that it is possible. For one, to not try and be too harsh, you are not a special case. You are one of a person in the human race, and there are people exactly like you or very similar to you who have made this change. So use that as your evidence that you are not too old to make this change. I don't have the time. That's another one. Okay, I don't believe that time is ever an issue. It's a priority issue. That's not to say that your priorities elsewhere are wrong, but you are prioritizing other things over your health. So health is down here, and I don't know, family, work, and all that is up here. And that's probably the right way around, but you need to move that health up a little bit. In terms of time, think about how much time you're on Netflix, how much time you're on Twitter, how much time you're on Facebook. Could you go for a half an hour walk? Could you do a 5-minute walk? Could you fit this time in? And again, reframe it from it's not a time issue, it's a priority issue. If you're not prioritizing exercise in your life, why? Okay, mindset. Again, with mindset and wanting to change, we sometimes relate these type of changes to motivation and thinking, oh, I just need to be motivated. Now, motivation will mess with you. It goes up and down, it waxes and wanes from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. So we need to work on the mindset about keeping going. And that's going back to finding your why. If you find your why, your real why, motivation doesn't matter because you have a bigger reason to make the change and do that workout and eat that right, eat the food that you actually want to eat, that you know you should be eating. Because if you rely on motivation, which usually comes from a slightly woolly goal in terms of I want to be healthier, that's not enough. But if that I want to be healthier eventually goes through the whys into I want to live long enough to see my grandchildren, how much more important is that? So that's your mindset shift from this woolly kind of top level goal to that really kind of deep why that's going to keep you motivated. So I'm going to post in the comments a link to a 5 whys document. It's a really simple document. You just ask yourself a question, what's your goal? And you ask yourself why 5 times to get that deeper goal. Another thing you can do, I want you to create 3 aims now. So what can you do this week? 3 things to improve your health. Maybe 2 diet and 1 exercise things can you do this week to improve your health. Make them small. They don't have to be massive. Make them SMART. So the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound. So make sure that goal is something like, if it's a water goal, I am going to drink 3 litres of water every day. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic and it's time bound for that week. Okay? Also, get yourself an end goal. Think, say 3 months in the future. What do I want to get to? What is my end goal? If the end goal is, again, going back to I just want to be healthier, what is that? What is healthier? It's very, very difficult. It's impossible, in fact, to define. So set yourself an end goal. Okay, in 3 months' time, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, so what's that? That's about 12 weeks. That's a little bit less than £1 a week. Okay, how can I ensure, working my way back, that I can achieve that? Okay, I hope that video was useful. So that is my 3 things that men over 40 need to realise if they want to make a big change to their health and fitness. You are older and it might take longer, and that's okay. You need to be realistic about the commitments in your life. And you've lived this way for 40 years. So if you make a massive change and a massive kind of upheaval to your life, you're going to be miserable. Okay, I hope you found that video useful. See ya.